Bills' final preseason game, but at the same time, he left questions hanging that are leaving fans anxious. Meanwhile, two new defensive players began to attract attention in a way no one expected. It was supposed to be just another preseason game, nothing special. One of those games where the fans showed up to catch up, see some of the starter shots, and get to know the new additions to the roster better. Highmark Stadium was pulsating. The stands shook with the chants of the Bills Mafia. The lights illuminated the field as if it were a final, and the expectation was that the crowd would see, even if only for a few minutes, their star running back, James Cook, in action. And then, there he was. Cook came running down to live and breathe the Buffalo Bills. It was a moment that raised eyebrows and heightened the tension in the air. Cook wasn't injured. He wasn't on the inactive list. He was there. In his condition, he wasn't willing to play. A short, direct, and enigmatic comment. McDermott then shifted the focus to the players who participated in the game, avoiding any wasn't a fluke. It wasn't planned rest. It was a calculated move, a message. And the guy who threw 16 rushing touchdowns last season. But I'm not playing until my future is secure. And when you put down on paper what Cook represents, the message takes on even more weight. 2 consecutive seasons with over 1,000 yards. Leader in the NFL in rushing touchdowns last year. 16. 2 consecutive Pro Bowl selections. Cook is, quite simply, the central cog in the Bills' running game. And everyone in the locker room knows it. The thing is, he's in the final year of his contract with a projected doesn't just affect tactics and statistics, it also affects internal chemistry. Will his teammates support Cook in this fight, or could this breed resentment in the locker room, especially among those fighting for space and minutes? Time is ticking, and the question grows. Will this drama be resolved before week 1, or will the Cook question loom large over the entire regular season? One thing is certain, this wasn't just another preseason story. It was a message, and how the Buffalo Bills respond could define not that turns into a scream, the shout that turns into a roar, the sound of thousands of hearts beating in unison as hype demands blood, sweat, and nerves of steel. It was their first time under the lights, with the cameras trained on them and the suffocating pressure of proving they deserve to be in the toughest league on the planet. The final score was 34-25 for the New York Giants, but in August, no one remembers wins or losses. What remains are the stories that are born, and that night, 2 new stories began to be written on the Bills' defensive line. Stories that could very well define the future of the franchise. 2 names began to echo in the stands and stadium corridors. TJ Sanders, a second-round draft pick and quarterback hunting specialist, and Deone Walker, a 4th-round pick, a colossus who defies logic. From the first snap, Sanders showed he wasn't there to be stale. He arrived with a veteran's mentality and the hunger of someone who knows he only has one chance to impress. In college football, he built his reputation by relentlessly passing on quarterbacks, but that night, he proved his game is much more complete. Even surrounded by double teams, he didn't back down. Exits that simply didn't exist. NFL insider Joe Buscaglia summed it all up in one sentence. He did the dirty work, the kind of effort that doesn't show up in the stats but coaches worship. If Sanders was discipline, technique, and consistent strength, Walker was pure spectacle. At 6'1" and 345 pounds, he looked more like a wall than a player, but a wall doesn't move like that. His feet danced on the turf, his balance defied gravity, and every step seemed to say, "You're not going to get through here." The moment that brought the stadium to its feet came in the second quarter, when the Giants' pocket began to collapse. Quarterback Jackson Dart dropped back, looking for a target, but Walker already knew what was coming. He read the play like an open book, took a step, braced his massive arms, and intercepted the pass as if he were a much lighter linebacker. For a second, time stood still. Then, 70,000 voices erupted in ecstasy. On the bench, veteran Ed Oliver wasted no time, grinning, and blurted out, "Dancing Bear." The nickname perfectly suited a man who combines brutality and lightness, who can crush a block and in the next instant change direction with the grace of a smaller athlete. It was only preseason, but the message was clear. Buffalo may have found not one but 2 pillars of its defense. 2 players who can change the course of entire matches when winter arrives and every game becomes a matter of survival. And while the fans were still buzzing about the emergence of this promising duo, something curious caught their attention in the corner of the field. It had nothing to do with calories, trials, or opportunities. It was about an established star. And, most intriguingly, she didn't even take the field for a second that night. After this explosive debut from rookies TJ Sanders and Deone Walker and the mystery surrounding the established star who spent the entire game on the bench, do you think the biggest impact on the Bills' season came from the emerging generation or the experience of those already carrying the jersey? Leave your opinion. Here, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, but I'll be back later to update you with the latest Buffalo Bills news.